It's Willy Billy, yeah, right back at you. All right, it's radiology tech. Also, let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna be kind of quiet because I'm in public. But let's see. Radiology tech, yes, absolutely. I would actually prefer that if you're on a longer timeline. I'd actually prefer that over a lot of experiences because it's actually a really good experience. It's a good job by itself. So if PA never happens or it's delayed, there's a lot of upward growth. You can travel as a radiology tech. There's a lot you can do. So I would definitely say radiology tech is great. It is a bachelor's, I think, usually. I'm going to look that up for you in a little bit, but radiology tech is generally a bachelor's. So it's actually a solid career all on its own. So yeah, if you're more patient, you're going to apply a little later. That's a solid one. Willy Billy, being weird. Have an interview tomorrow online, and it's MMI. Well, I mean, I hope you've been preparing. If it's tomorrow, you only have a few hours left, kind of the rest of the day, maybe tomorrow to practice. So MMI, here's what you're going to do. All right, I'm going to share my four-step method for that. Give me just one moment, please. But I think I've shared this on this channel before, but I'll show you guys again. Also, if the music's too loud or intrusive, let me know. I think it's, I don't know, okay volume. But let me see here. One sec. Okay, so four-step method for MIs. Let me see here. Okay, I mean, I'm just going to summarize it while I look for the actual visual because I want to give you guys a screenshot. But four-step method for MMIs, the difference between MMI and normal interviews is you have, it's going to be more formal. So it's going to be less conversational, more formal. You're going to go in there, give your piece, focus on saying everything you have to say, and be expected to not really have much of a response. So I say at least 2 minutes for MMIs. We have between 6 and 8, depending on the school. So I would say probably even shoot for longer. Maybe shoot for 4 or 5 minutes or so. I think I said on the last live, I've heard of horror stories where somebody says their piece and they're like, well, you still have 4 minutes. It's like, I don't have to fill the time, dude. But you don't want it to be too brief. If you made it a 5-minute response, they probably wouldn't have said that, right? So yeah, you definitely want to fill the time. Practice, what was I going to say here? Practice speaking, thinking out loud. So share your thoughts. Don't just have a response. So for instance, if it's like a scenario, they say, what would you do? You want to not just say, okay, I would do this. You would say, okay, I understand the problem is X, Y, and Z. Here's what information I would want because I know I don't, have everything I need just from the prompt. And then talk about possibilities and then talk about what you would do. That's a much more thoughtful, much more mature response, we'll say. So here's what I was talking about. Okay. So, four-step method for MMIs, scenarios, ethical questions, clarify the problem. Basically just restate it briefly. Get more information, make assumptions. Again, if there's any more information you could possibly need, don't be afraid to ask for it or just make assumptions of info you'd probably want, right? Next, talk about not just one, but maybe 2, possibly even 3 things you could do, even if it seems obvious. Talk about a few different things you can do. And then next, pick the one that's best and explain why. Usually when I do MMIs, it's like people skip step 1, 2, and 3, and they just go straight to, okay, I would do X, Y, and Z. I would want more than that. Okay? Anyway, so that's for Drew. Flip my camera back on my lovely face and see what you guys all said. Thanks for all the comments, by the way. Did somebody hit the like button 1,000 times already? That's nuts. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's see. So that's for Drew Alvarez, MMI tomorrow. Good luck, Drew. If everybody can put in the chat, good luck, Drew. Please do that. We talked about radiology. We addressed Willy Billy being weird. What else we got here? Okay. Hold on. Sorry, way too many questions for me to actually... Here we go. Bachelor's in psych. Can I do anything in healthcare? Yeah, buddy, of course. Of course. Check this out. I'm actually going to show you my screen again. So this person has a psychology bachelor's. Let me show you the most common bachelor's degrees, actually. And psychology's up there. I don't think it's top 5, but it's up there of people who get into PA and medical schools. Let me see. One sec. Maybe I'm just going to control find major because I do want to prove to you that you're not the only one with a psychology degree. Not even close. Major. One sec. There we go. Okay. So most common majors of matriculants, right? Biology. Obviously, everybody knew it was going to be biology. Health sciences. I'm not sure if it's Darius Health Sciences or if that's an actual major, but look, psych is 3, ahead of chemistry. ahead of all these other various ones. Psych is literally number three. So 15% of people who got into this really competitive program in healthcare, PA school, they have psychology degrees. So yeah, for whoever just said I have a psychology degree, 199%, you can totally do whatever you want as long as you have the prerequisite courses, good grades, good experiences, 100%. 100%. All right, what else we got here? Again, volunteering hours make up for PCE? No, absolutely not. Volunteering is good, but it's its own category. PCE is its own category by itself. So volunteering shows you're not just into grades, you're actually interested in other things, helping the community. That's great. But PCE has its own purpose, which is you're comfortable in the medical field, right? Talking to patients, talking to people in pain, talking, dealing with fluids, dealing with the things that come with medicine, right? So no, there's no getting away from the hours requirements. Volunteering is good, but it's not a substitute. I was hired as a care coordinator and medical assistant. Is that helpful? Yeah, 100%. Do make sure that if a lot of your duties are administrative as a care coordinator, you're not like hands-on with patients. I would consider splitting up that one in CASPA into two different experiences, right? The administrative side and the hands-on patient care side. Because if the description has a lot of administrative duties in there, they're going to have to wonder like, okay, how much of this person is actually hands-on, and they don't want to wonder. So it will be easier for you to make them not wonder. So approximately what proportion? 20, 30, 90%, split that up into two experiences with the same dates. Hope that makes sense. What else you got here? Why should I become a PA if Cairo does the same thing? Victor, where on the planet Earth did you get the idea that chiropractors do anything remotely the same as physician assistants? Not even close. Not even like remotely close. Billy says music is good. Thank you. I'm going to start including music a little more in these lives. Willie Billy, get back to work, man. Shouldn't you be like climbing towers? Willie Billy, you guys should check out his page. He climbs towers for a living. Crazy man. Awesome guy, though. By the way, he's my neighbor. In a typical interview, how many questions are asked? So usually about like 20 minutes or so, on average 20 to 30 minutes. So given, 4 to 5 minutes per response, approximately, I'd say be ready for 4 to 5 questions. So be pretty good. And then look at my document about the 6 basic types of questions, and you should be ready for literally anything. So yeah, about five questions, I'd probably say. My problem, wait, hold on a sec. LOL says, my problem with failing courses. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but yeah, failing courses and having a low GPA is a no-no. Well, Bell, just stopping to drop some likes. You're the bomb. You guys are like literally the best community ever. And I see she's already a PAC or he. So yeah, thank you for the likes. Honestly, thank you for helping this channel. What else you got here? Somebody followed me. Thank you. Somebody followed me. Thank you. What else we got? Any other questions? Because I'm literally just going to do some work while I see more questions kind of piling in. Otherwise, we're just going to sit here and listen to music, Sense 8 Heart. Thank you. Maomia. I can't pronounce that. And followed me. Thank you very much. What else we got here? Number one, something. Somebody sent a gift. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do work for like a couple minutes. I'm going to wait for some more questions, and then we'll get back to the next, crop of questions. Be here for another maybe 30 minutes. But anyway, you guys are amazing. Oh, here we go. I applied near September, very late. Do you still have a chance of getting in? Yeah, I don't see why not. The biggest thing with late submissions is this. Are your programs, or the program that you submitted kind of late to, is it traditional or is it rolling? Because if it's rolling, you're probably fighting for one of the last couple spots, and then, it's still possible, but it's less likely. If it's traditional, it doesn't matter. If the deadline hasn't passed, they haven't really looked at anybody yet. They're not allowed to. So if you applied, near September, but the deadline's in October, November, it doesn't matter. You have the same chance as literally everybody else, because they look at everyone at the same time. So yeah, I would not worry about that if it's traditional. If it's rolling, I still wouldn't worry terribly because it's not going to do anything good to worry, but it's less likely. Oh, this person said it's not rolling. They don't start to look at, okay, yeah. So literally, okay, I need to say this once and for all, but I'm going to say it again and again probably. If it's traditional, if there's a deadline and then they look at all their applications after the deadline, it literally doesn't matter if you submit in April when the application opens, or if you submit 2 weeks before the application closes in September. It literally, you have the same chance. They look at everyone at the same time. That being said, don't submit too close to the deadline because you need to have things verified. You got to wait for your letters to get in. So you don't want to push it, because if like you're close to the deadline and then something goes wrong, something doesn't get verified, transcript doesn't arrive, you're screwed. Better luck next year. So yeah, don't wait too long. But yeah, hopefully that's a thorough response. What else you got here? Kay says, I got in, but I have cold feet. Would you, if you could go back in time, would you do PA again? That's a tough question. I mean, it would either be PA or MD. Like, there's no other job that I can see myself doing for more than 5 hours a week without wanting to, pull my hair out. Back when I had it. If I had to go back in time and do PA or MD again, God, I don't know. It changes. It changes all the time. I think I would be leaning more towards yes, I still would, but it's not 90-10 like it used to be. It's probably going closer to like 60-40, PA versus MD. Because on the positive side, like going to PA school has allowed me to get where I am now, like with the exact lifestyle I really want, working part-time, going to the beach all the time, doing this business on the side, doing other things on the side, and I got done like quicker, right? 2 years. But I don't know, being an MD would just be pretty legit. You know more, you feel more comfortable in your own skin as a provider. Just always, you can do way more. You can do surgery, you can do all kinds of stuff.